top opposition leaders, including Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Nasir El-Rufai, and Rotimi Amaechi, gathered at the Shehu Musa Yar'Adua Centre, Abuja, on Wednesday for the official unveiling of the ADC-led opposition coalition ahead of the 2027 elections. The coalition, drawing members from PDP, Labour Party, SDP, and others, has adopted the African Democratic Congress as its platform to challenge the ruling APC. Former Senate President David Mark was named interim national chairman, while as Osun Governor Ralph Arabeshola was announced as interim secretary. Other attendees included Dino Melaye, Dele Momodu, Ireti Kingibe, and Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar retired, signaling a major step towards a united opposition front. Daniel, what is your take on the ADC coalition we have right now and the interesting, marriage of persons that have come together to form this coalition?
Well, first, for any Nigerian, I think we should be happy. Happy in the sense that let people have an option when it comes to an election. Let people have options as to where they want to align their purpose with. That is the only congratulations I would say. But again, you see, you must be able to define what is it that drives these persons. You were a minister in a government for 8 years, in a political party. What was the thing that suddenly happened that within a year, suddenly, you are no longer, all the ideas of that party had gone off with you? What was the reason? That's one. Two, you see, we need to clearly define certain issues here. A David Mark. So when you see coalitions like this, those who are around or fronting it, what are they bringing to the table? And Arabeshola, can he win an Osun State? Arabeshola, can he win an Osun State? He won that with the influence of Bola Tinubu then. Since then, he has not been able to win an election when they went their separate ways. David Mark lost his senatorial election. So, when you look at this coalition, you begin to wonder what exactly. But for me, I think I'm cool to have people have an option of where they want to go and how they want to go about it, so that people can begin to question. So, okay, if it's an Amaechi, what was it happen within the APC that made him lose favor with the APC, that made him now see the APC as a party where he can no longer associate with them? What was the thing that happened? Within a year or something, you contested that election, the primaries, and you came second. What was the thing that happened? And so, it will be very interesting in the days ahead, because most of these persons who form these coalitions are people who have ambitions to be president. And I'm still telling somebody yesterday that my spirit is just telling me that Amaechi will get that ticket. With my own calculations as to how, because the Bola Tinubu 4 years has thrown a spanner. Because the North is expected that the South has 4 years, after which power will move to the North. But in an Atiku's dilemma, would Atiku contest election when he knows that a northern brother just ended 8 years and the South is clamoring that they want to have their fair share of that 8 years?
Do you think Atiku cares about that?
No.
Does,
See, no.
If he does, probably PDP won't be having the crisis.
No. You
right
see,
now.
we are talking about the coalition.
Yes.
Obi wants to be president.
He has made
Obi believes that he is from the South and is a turn of the South. He wants to become president. Amaechi also knows that ambition. He contested under the APC. He wants to be president. So you have
has that ambition as well.
Yes. So you have all of these persons, and so as I said, the coming days, the days ahead will be very interesting as to who is ready to submit his own ambition for the other person? And what will be the give and take? Because in all honesty, in this coalition, it is only Obi that I think that can deliver his region.
You don't think Amaechi can deliver his region?
Amaechi cannot deliver this local government, In this election, he cannot. See, you begin to look, you can chronicle what happened since he left office. Amaechi is not that kind of politician, for example, you compare with the Wike, who comes here every weekend, meet with his people, have meetings, decide where they want to go, and all of that. He's in touch with his people. And these persons are ready to die for him. How many persons would Amaechi call and would lay their life for him like that? So you begin to look at, and because Amaechi is more of a refined politician. He's not talk and send messages. No. Other politicians would attend those things. When last have they had meeting here with these people? I've been in touch with some of them. When last have they seen him? So it will be very interesting that you have, as I said, it's only Obi in all of this that can deliver their region and deliver it and hand it over to the ADC. Would an Amaechi deliver South-South? Would an El-Rufai deliver Northwest? We're talking of Northwest. Would an Aregbesola deliver South-West? So it is interesting. Probably maybe there are other bigger masquerade
that may come up much later.
That may come up. That's why I said, these are just the faces of what you see. But it will be interesting to, because at the end of the day, the ultimate thing is to wrestle power from the APC. And in doing that, it's going to be a dirty game. Nobody will, see, APC will not surrender power like Goodluck Jonathan just did. They would not. These are different kinds of persons. They've been in opposition for years. And suddenly the thing is in their hands. So they would understand, even Amaechi and others would know that, look, these persons we are dealing with is not a Goodluck Jonathan. This man we are dealing with is not. He might not say anything, but I think that, let's wait whether there are other bigger masquerade that would come. But I think what would likely truncate this is
the clash of interest.
The clash of interests. Would the persons who want to become president sit on the table and agree to say, okay, the South has a turn.
Right.
Are you ready? You know, see, these things are, okay, let's give the South 4 years. Would the coalition, somebody say, look, I will do 4 years and I will leave. It's a bigger thing. This Tinubu 4 years has caused a problem.
To allow that 4 years will have to be, there has to be a lot of trust.
Remember when,
there has to be a lot of trust. Recall, that was why some persons were now saying, oh, the only person that we know constitutionally is bound by that 4 years is
Goodluck Jonathan. No, you see, you're opening it because that's why I said probably there are other masquerade behind the scene
that may come up later.
People like Goodluck Jonathan, because they are the one. They don't need to promise you.
No, constitutionally they are bound.
He can't go beyond 4 years.
Yes.
So if there are the northern powers, who are they ready to look towards that? Because the truth is, if I become president and I promise 4 years, there are people from my place who will tell me, are you mad to drop this?
When you already have that power.
You can't. So there are a lot of interest that will come. So the Tinubu's 4 years is causing a lot of problem. I'm telling you how to even arrange. Should we go to the north? People will say, no, not just finish 8 years. Okay, should we stay with 4 years in the south? That the north will say, okay, give us back power for 8 years. So the days ahead will be interesting. Let's see, probably maybe there are other masquerade behind that would unveil themselves probably at the appropriate time.
All right, very well. Chris, what do you make of the ADC coalition?
Well, like my brother pointed out, without opposition in democracy, democracy cannot be complete. It's good that we are having option. Situation like this, like we pointed earlier, that the PDP does not have what it takes to match the APC. Now we have seen another political platform where the Labour Party and other political parties coming together to form a coalition under DC to challenge the APC. That's fine. But first, I want to look at it from in 2013, or 2014, some persons came together as well, the likes of Rotimi Amaechi, El-Rufai, and all that, to unseat Goodluck Jonathan, and they brought Buhari. At the end, what happened? It was even Nigerians started yearning for Goodluck Jonathan to come back. This same set of persons, the likes of Malami, they are back again because their power has left them. They are back again. They want to grab power by all means. I just hope that at the end of the day, we will not have to move from frying pan to fire. That's on that. Then again, politics is about being in touch with the grassroots. How many of these persons have contact that can deliver? It's not just to
at the grassroots level.
How can deliver? Like my brother pointed out, the FCT minister is a grassroots politician. Every now and then he's in River State. Despite the fact that he's busy doing delivering jobs in FCT, he's always coming home to reach out to the people, to know the problems of his people. When last did you see Amaechi in River State? Is he going to deliver the vote in Abuja? Is it no Rivers vote that he want to deliver to the coalition? But Amaechi has lost touch with his people. I was also a supporter of Amaechi, and I still relate to so many of us who supported Amaechi. Amaechi does not even care about you. He's, like he said, he's a refined kind of politician. He's not ready to do come and he lost touch with the grassroots. When he contested for the presidential election, he lost the primary. Amaechi lost the election, and instead of supporting the party, he left and decided to excommunicate himself from his supporters. Don't forget that those who constituted to the crisis, to the political crisis in Rivers State between the FCT minister and the governor Similaye Fubara, were supporters of Amaechi who had no other place to run to after Amaechi abandoned them, and went to see him to say, come, we can actually support you to defeat this man. That's why it was part of the crisis in the state. Now they are not also happy that peace has come. Maybe they'll run back to Amaechi. They have no option to go back to Amaechi
and ADC.
And ADC, because I like I said earlier, I am in touch with them, and so many of them are complaining that Amaechi do not care for anybody. If you have any program, like just last weekend, you saw the FCT minister, he left Abuja to come and attend a better function in his community. When last did Amaechi go to his community? When you don't leave people, and when it's election time, you come and ask for vote. No, you need to be with them. You need to assure them. They need to have the faith in you that when you win, you are going to carry them along. Now, let's look at the tenure as Minister for Transportation. He held that position for close to 8 years. Can you point out one thing, either to Rivers people or his supporters, that have benefited? So it's fine to have opposition, like I earlier said, but these people, can they actually deliver election? Look at the likes of Dino Melaye. How many times has he failed election in Kogi State? Is it Dino that will win Kogi State for the coalition? If you look at Celestine Omeh, I saw him. Celestine does not even have any supporter in his state. So these are. Is it Uche Second, the former PDP national chairman? What is it that they want to do that they did not? They were in power. Amaechi was in APC. In fact, he was among the founders of APC. But what happened? How come you are telling us that APC is not viable again? It's ADC. We know for me, these people are just there is no ideology. They are being assembled only for their hate for the president. What they want is power. That's all. So they want to grab power. There is no ideology. Nigerians should not expect anything new.
So it's still the same old.
It's still the same old.
Old wine in a different wine skin.
The former Attorney General Malami was very influential. In fact, he was among the Kaba during the reign of Buhari. So what happened? What can we say? Let's just look at the Buhari tenure that Amaechi also started. What happened? So these are people who are hungry for power. They have left. Power has left them. Not that they have left. Power has left them. They want to come back by all means. What we were told that the party is supreme. And when Amaechi lost the presidential election, we expected him to work with the party to deliver. Unfortunately, Amaechi came out to told us that he never voted for Tinubu. It's shocking. So what will happen? What if the party, because he lost the election and left APC, he lost the presidential primary.
What's the guarantee that he will
not leave if he did not get the ticket or? Well, let's just watch and see how it. But for me, aside the composition of the coalition, the Tinubu is a grandmaster. He knows the business of politics. I don't see the possibility of anybody defeating Tinubu.
All right.
But again, let me just add this. I also hope that there will be no problem in the ADC, because some members are refusing to step down.
Kachuku.
No, Kachuku is not holding any elective
position, but he's threatening to take the matter to court.
Is a member, according to their party, is a member of NEC as a former presidential candidate. I had to quickly browse in yesterday evening, and I discovered that the Court of Appeal actually removed Raf as the chairman, that his tenure has ended. But there is no history of whether that judgment has been delivered by the Supreme Court or the judgment is still pending. So there will be a lot of problems going forward. One is that what the APC did in 2014 to accommodate the then speaker from Sokoto, this guy from Sokoto State, that betrayed Wike at the National Convention.
Saraki.
No,
not Saraki.
From Sokoto State. It was governor now was governor
Tamboa. Sorry.
What the APC did was that they had a special convention to alter their constitution so that when a new member comes in, he can hold elective position. As the ADC done that, because the ADC constitution said you are going to spend a minimum of 2 years before you can hold an elective position. 2, where has been a NEC meeting of the ADC where you can now dissolve an entire INEC is the registrar and custodian of political parties.
Well,
so they thought that's what brought sense to PDP. They thought, look, in our record here, Anyanwu is the secretary, and PDP had to reset itself and align with the party. So who exactly? And I expect that going forward, INEC would review some of these things. Who is the national party? Because you cannot just hand over a chairmanship interim. What is the party constitution that you have submitted to INEC? Because in every of this your meeting, you are supposed to send, it has days, some 21 days like what PDP did, to send in. And there's only one signature here. There is a man called Anyan who is your secretary. He didn't sign this letter. So we are not acknowledging. So you are even supposed to give INEC some few days to be able to to take note of your NEC meeting. So where has the NEC meeting been holding? And what this thing has been given to INEC to notify them. And then suddenly Raf came up and said he dissolved all party structures. How? There are subnationals. There are, in your words, they are there. People are there because in the constitution, in the electoral act rather, it is stated that you must have offices in all of the 36 state capital. So are you now saying that everyone in ADC has been dissolved to accommodate this? So I think there will be a legal tussle going forward.
Okay. Now that's on one hand. The possibility is there because already a faction of ADC is saying that the coalition made a very wrong move. And Kachuku, as it stands, is threatening to go to court over the coalition.
He's a NEC member.
And now that issue, yes, he's a stakeholder and he has the right to do that. Now the issue that you just talked about, because last time we checked, the coalition adopted ADC, right? But the constitution of ADC remains very valid. And INEC will look at the constitution of the party. Now, the question will be, how did that transition of power go? Was it constitutional? Who dissolved You know,
You cannot,
the
because
executive can be dissolved by the action of the NEC.
no, you see, the NEC has to form
has to
and
be a
go
NEC
for.
meeting.
Yes, there has to be a NEC, an NWC meeting, then to the NEC
Yes.
meeting, then probably to a special convention, notifying INEC. This is what we want to do, so that we all go to that convention.
So now the question would be, with David Mack now being the interim, the acting chairman, and Ralph Araboshola being the acting secretary. Now they are the ones that will write to INEC.
There are those two signatures.
Now INEC will now tell them. Let me quickly check INEC website and see who INEC recognized.
So
interesting times
but
ahead.
I would not want that legal tussle to come up, because
but it's definitely going to happen.
Yes, but I want, let's see a field of, because for me, I'm trying to imagine, what is an Amaechi going to tell me that happened to the APC in 1 year? What does he want to see? I'm a travel consultant. Under the Buhari's government, it was pretty difficult for us to get dollar. Pretty difficult. Sometimes we even have to, airline blocked all cheaper seats in Nigeria. Some airlines suspended their coming to Nigeria. All their funds were held up in Nigeria. Sometimes we have to reroute our passengers through Ghana, through Benin, Benin Republic, Nigerians, so that you can get a cheap ticket. So what does a Malami want to say to me? So that's why I said the days ahead will be very interesting. So let's see what would happen. Now
I'm on INEC website right now, and the national chairman of ADC is still Chief Raf Okewus.
Okay.
And maybe INEC has not
updated.
No, but since it is website, we'll take it like that.
But they did update that of Labour Party when they wrote Julius Abure boycott order. So last time I checked, the appeal court, this judgment you talked about, came before the appeal court of Julius Abure, isn't it?
Yes. Which one?
The one that reinstated Julius Abure against Lamidi Apapa.
Yes, no, for Raf, it was 2 years ago now.
So what are we talking about?
It depends on the interest, but I think for the website, maybe INEC, the person in charge of the ICT is here to get get that.
And again, let's even agree that Raf is the national chairman. But you can't dissolve a national chairman, dissolve executive the way you did.
Again, I think looking at the APC constitution, the APC constitution gives the NEC the constitutional powers to dissolve the National Working Committee. But I am not privy to.
No, but there will be a NEC meeting. And okay, where's the NEC meeting held?
What he's saying is, what happened in Abuja is an unveiling.
No, we do not. For me, I'm not privy to the constitution of the ADC. If the constitution said there must be a NEC to dissolve the National Working Committee, that's the point I'm making.
When officers are to emerge in whatever way, last time I checked, political parties' constitution and part of the INEC rule is that INEC will witness that particular event to ensure that it was democratically done.
INEC must be in the know.
Did INEC witness this handover of power from the executive of ADC
to the interim?
Exactly. And now we only have two executives, to the best of our knowledge, the acting chairman and the acting secretary.
I listened to the chairman from Benue State. I also listened to the chairman from Osun State. They were never in the know about any meeting that was called because they are part of NEC. They were never in the know. They are not aware.
Interesting days ahead.
Until they saw Raf dissolving making an announcement and dissolving. How?
On national television.
Where is the paper? Because if you have a NEC meeting to dissolve these guys, there would have been signatures that have been collected. INEC would have witnessed the process.
Now, looking at this, now that brings us to 2018, May 10, 2018, when Obasanjo's coalition adopted the same ADC in 2018 as a party that they will use to oust Buhari, come 2019. And the marriage between Obasanjo's coalition and ADC lasted for only 3 months. It ended in August 2018. Now, Daniel, what do you make of that? I mean, ADC apparently is not new to coalition situation. So what do you make of the future of this one, considering what has happened?
You see, the truth is that most of these political parties that we call mushroom political parties are being financed by major politicians, so that when they lose out, they will have a place to run to. If you listen to Kachuku yesterday, he was saying, Raf usually say this political belongs to him. That where do they usually have meeting? Do they have ward meeting? So that he is the one who finance everything. So he's ready to sell it on a platter of gold. But unfortunately, rules must be followed. So I think that these political parties were not created in the first place for an ideology or for a purpose that they want to satisfy that purpose. The purpose only is to use it as an alternative. Remember what Amaechi did during, was it AAC? They used that time when the APC could not produce a candidate in Rivers State. AAC was used. Are you saying the people in AAC, where were they before? So he adopted that and fly with it. So most of these political parties belongs to some of these guys that you see. So they own that political party. So it's convenient for them. Once they lose out somewhere, they move their machineries there. So it's just in the same way. Probably maybe why Obasanjo and others lost out then was that maybe the right price was not paid to the ADC. So that they can use.
They said that ADC joined the coalition of United Political Parties, the CUPP, and that they didn't want to be part of that coalition, and that was the reason why they said they left. But probably that was the reason they gave, but we may never know the underlying reasons. But then, like I said, ADC has once had this coalition before, and it collapsed after 3 months.
It has experience in coalition.
It has experience. It has experience in coalition. So, and it collapsed after 3 months. Now, considering that already a faction of ADC is now agitating that this coalition is not acceptable to them, how do you see this playing out in coming times?
Well, all these things are going to be tested in the court. The constitutionality of the handover of the party structure to David Mark is going to be tested in court.
And will David Mark and Arabeshola write to INEC, and INEC will recognize? Like, how are they going to write to INEC on behalf of ADC?
Well,
will INEC recognize that later?
For now, I'm not aware. I don't know if you have read, because like my brother pointed out, before you transfer power, whether it's a special convention or INEC is supposed to be in the know. You're supposed to inform INEC that this is what you want to do. Nobody has told us if INEC is aware or not. Until that is clear, we'll now know whether INEC is aware or not. If INEC is aware, then they can write to INEC and INEC will recognize. Because you don't, if you want to change leadership in any political party, whether at the world level or AG or the national, INEC needs to know. You write, you inform INEC, and they will witness it.
But one would say that this move, though it has been in the burner, but one would say this was kind of sudden, considering that just a few days ago, or would I say last week, they submitted AD to INEC for registration as a political party. They named it and submitted it to INEC.
But it was discovered that someone else has registered AD
and
before them.
Before them?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's why they abandoned
Interesting.
it.
So why didn't they come up with another name?
No, they you know, before they made the attempt to register AD, El-Rufai has left to secure SDP for the coalition.
Yes.
That also failed. They didn't tell us the reason why that failed. So it's part of the politicking. And you look at different options, and I'm sure they have agreed to use ADC for now. But let's just wait and see as the
I'm sure that SDP probably may be praying that this coalition with ADC will hit the rocks, because they might be the next available option.
But again, there's something interesting, something I think is going to be a serious issue, because this coalition is about giving power. It's about people who are interested in becoming the president. We have the likes of Atiku, who, when they say Atiku is not, Atiku will allow the Southerner to fly the ticket of the party. Well, till then, let's see how.
Do you actually see Atiku sacrificing his ambition?
I'm looking at his role after Buhari led this country for 8 years. Atiku came back to say he want to be president after 8 years of presidency in the north, and now they have.
And that was
the genesis of the crisis in
PDP.
Now we have the South has taken 4 years, and you want to tell me that Atiku will sacrifice his own ambition?
He's 79. He's 79.
So
he's looking that this should be his last.
Attempt.
So I've been asking myself, how is it going to work? Now we have Obi, who said he just want to be president for first and that 4 years is enough for him to. These are political talk. We all know this thing.
It's interesting.
We also have Amaechi, who is also clearly interested to be the president of this country. I don't know how they are going to marry all these interests to come up with one presidential candidate. Now, it's not enough to have a presidential candidate. You also look at the region. Will the Northerners support Obi to be president?
Well, hold on to that thought, because that's our next story.
No, because
even
I'm coming.
Right
I'm not even going through that.
Yes.
You know, this man said yesterday, if you listen to him, I don't know if you listened to David Mark. He said this is a fight between the North and the South. Did you hear it?
Of course. But